Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Tom Morgan Drum Studio. We're back in the fundamental book, The Sequential Approach to Fundamental Snare Drum, which again I hope you have purchased and are going through the book with me. And of course you can get the book at callenpublications.com, and we'll put the email address up here so you can see it. But you've got to have the book to get much out of what we're doing here. All right, so we've come to page 43, and now we start to get into the good stuff. Now we start to get into some common 16th note patterns that can be derived from our 4/16th note 1E and group by adding eighth notes, substituting some eighth notes for 16th notes, and also substituting dotted eighth notes. So if you look on page 43, you'll see that there are 5 different common 16th note patterns that do that add an eighth note or a dotted eighth note into the pattern. They still equal 1 count. They still are the equivalent of 4 16th notes, but now we've substituted eighth notes. In this case, we're going to talk about the first 2 of those today. So if you look on page 43, you can see, and I've kind of reproduced a little of it up here on this, but we have 4 16th notes, 1E and that's what I've put here. And then if we combine these 2 16th notes to create an eighth note, now we have 1E and 2E and. We're still leaving space for the that would be out here, but we are not going to play that. So the rhythm then would be 1E and, 2E and, 3E and, 4E and. Now it's very, very important that you form the habit of always using the same sticking. Remember, we always use right, left for 4 16th notes. So we're always going to play 2 16ths and an eighth, 1E and, right, right. Because those are the same hands we'd be using for 1E and if we had all 4 of the 16th notes there. So we're going to be very consistent about that all the time. And this is really important. And if you're a band director and you're teaching your students in middle school or elementary school to play these rhythms, and you're thinking ahead about when they're going to be in drum line and you want them to be in a snare line and play everything together with the same sticking, if they've learned this system, sometimes called the right hand lead system, then they'll automatically play all these 16th note patterns with the same sticking. So you save yourself a lot of trouble. But there's, it's more important than that is to just learn these stickings and make them a habit. So when you're playing, you don't even have to think about what sticking you're going to use. There'll be exceptions and we'll change things around, but in general, if you can form the habit of always using these stickings, then you're going to be in good shape. So that's how we're going to play 2 16ths and an eighth. 1E and, or depending on which count it falls on, and then we're always going to use right, left, right. So if we turn the page over to page 44, you see 2 exercises here that use 2 16ths and an eighth. And so I'm just going to play both of these for you, and very important to count out loud. When you're practicing, if you're playing it in your lesson, count it out loud, because if you do that, then it's going to become very clear whether you're doing it right or wrong. You can say the right thing, but it's important that you also make it sound like the right rhythm. For example, I could play it 1E and 2E, 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and. Well, I'm saying the right rhythm, but I'm not leaving space for 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and That's going to give me the right rhythm. Now you don't have to say the when you're playing. I mean, once you get that in your head, the way the rhythm sounds, then that's just, you can leave that out. But make sure you're leaving space for the because we still need a full count there. Okay, so I'm going to play number 1, counting out loud. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 E N, 4 E N. 1 and 2 E N, 3 and 4 E N. 1 E N, 2 and 3 E N, 4 and 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 and 4 and 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 and 4 and 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 E N, 3 E N, 4 E N, 1 and 2 and 3 E N, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 E N, 4 and 1 E N, 2 and 3 E N, 4 E N, 1 and 2 and 3 E N, 4 E N, 1 and 2 and 3 E N, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 E N, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 E N, 4 E N, 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 and 4 and 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 E N, 4 N. All right. And hopefully you noticed that every time I had 2/16 and an eighth, I always used right, left, right for the sticking. Now let's drop down to number 2. This puts us in 3/4 time. We're always going to be switching around on time signatures so you don't get stuck in one time signature. You can always make the transition to a new time signature and get used to doing that. So number 2 is in 3/4 time. 3 counts to a measure and the quarter note gets 1 count. So I'll do that one. Here we go. 1 and ready and play. And 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 E N. 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 E N. 1 and 2 E N, 3 and 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 E N. 1 E N, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 E N. 1 E N, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 E N, 3 E N. 1 and 2 and 3 E N. 1 and 2 and 3 E N. 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 E N. 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 E N. 1 E N, 2 and 3 E N. 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 N. All right. Also notice that I'm counting the rests. You don't want to not count when you come to a rest. A rest needs to be counted. It's part of the music. Silence is just as important as sound. All right. So now, if you go back to, turn back one page, back to page 43, you'll see that the next rhythm is an eighth and 2/16. So here we have our regular 4/16 note pattern again, 1 E and a. But now I'm tying or combining these 2/16 together to create an eighth note. And then the last 2/16 just fall here. So we're going to count this 1 and a, and we're going to leave space for the E here. 1 and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a. And notice that I am going to use right, right, left for the sticking. Okay, why do I do that? Well, because these two notes, right, left, would be right, left here if all 4 of the 16th notes were together, were in place. And of course, the first one would be right. So we're really just leaving out the E here, which would be with the left. So right, right, left. So we're being very consistent about our sticking. We're really just using the same stick to play the note that we would have used if all 4 of the 16th notes were there. That's kind of the principle behind it. So now we turn back to page 45 and we see that wonder of wonders, we have a whole page dedicated to 1/8 and 2/16. Now, a lot of students have trouble getting those two mixed up for a while. An eighth and 2/16 and 2/16 and an eighth. They're the reverse of each other. So, you know, you just got to get used to seeing them and recognizing them. So you're going to see in this example the 2/16 and an eighth pattern from the page before it reappear here and there, just to give you an opportunity to make the differentiation between the two. So, if you have trouble with that at first, don't be discouraged. That happens. You're training yourself to recognize the difference between those two. Some of you may not have any trouble with it, and that's great. Okay, so let's start with number 1 on page 45. And we're in 4/4 time again. And I'm going to count out loud and use right, right, left for the sticking every time I have an 1/8 and 2/16. Okay? 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right. Now, if you can't go that fast at first, do it slower. Hopefully you can eventually get it up to the same speed I'm going so you can play along with me with the recording. But, don't try to learn it faster than you can play it. If you're starting and stopping over and over again and making a lot of mistakes, that's a sign you're going too fast. Don't ever practice anything faster than you can play it, okay? Because every time you stop and play something wrong, you're putting bad information into the computer, the brain, okay? We want to form the habit of doing everything right, so we want to play it right as much as we can. So if you have to go 1 and 2 and that's slow, fine. Start there. And then the more you practice it, the faster you'll be able to go. But don't ever sacrifice accuracy for speed, okay? Speed isn't as important as accuracy. All right, we drop down to number 2, which is the same idea here, but now we're in 2/4 time, 2 counts in a measure. And so we just are going to be counting 1 and 2 and. All right, here we go. Ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 1 E and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 E and 2 E and 1 and 2 E and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 E and 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 E and 1 and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. And if you notice, that third line is actually a rhythmic device called a hemiola. And it sounds like a big word, but it just simply means implying 1 meter when you're in another. So if you just heard this, you'd probably think it was in 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But it's not, it's in 2/4. 1 and 2 E and 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 E and 1 and 2 E. So, you can impress your friends by telling them that, that's a hemiola. And they'll be, ooh, wow, he knows some big musical terms. I personally had my hemiola removed, so I had the hemiendectomy, so I don't have to worry about that. But anyway, so those 2 pages, work on those. Don't try to go ahead yet. Just really focus on those and get really used to the difference between those 2 rhythms. and then we'll move on from there in the next video. Thanks for watching. Please like this video if you liked it, and please subscribe if you haven't. Hit the little bell, which will let you know when I'm making more videos and when new ones come out. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.